All right. So we'll be starting with the number 8 and the participant is Mr. Swagatam. Swagatam, your topic is Make in India versus Make for India. So you'll be getting 1 minute from now and you can start with the preparation of your setup, and meanwhile all the other participants can get themselves geared up and we will be starting with the session whenever Swagatam ji is ready with the topic. So Swagatam, shall we start or would you take some time?
Devanshi, I'd like to take some time, but am I audible?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, I'd like to take some time, like 1 minute, but I have a
Yeah,
question
sure.
that what is exactly meant by made for India in this topic?
Basically, Make in India is something that is associated to the foreign
That I
development
know, yeah.
index and the foreign investment that are made in the country. And Make for India is basically something related to the Atmanirbhar concept and the self-reliant thing.
Sorry?
That is basically something related to the self-reliant concept, Atmanirbhar concept.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. You can please start now. Your time
Make,
starts now.
yeah,
The topic is in the
just
chat
as
box.
Make for India is about the Atmanirbhar concept, right? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Recently, the Prime Minister of India has come up with this agenda of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, something that should be taken into consideration in such a circumstance is that whether it is possible to make Atmanirbhar Bharat on the first go, because there were many people who were at the first go boycotting all the China products. Many were seen coming out in the streets and breaking Vivo phones or Realme phones. Now, as a matter of fact, the mobile phone which I am using to join this live stream is a Realme 3 Pro, and that's a Chinese mobile. Now, many of us have Chinese models of mobile phones and TVs in our homes because they are simply because they are affordable. Um, Having said that, India is not at a position today to make such affordable gadgets or to make such gadgets at all for all of us, and therefore instantly we cannot achieve make for India. We cannot achieve the agenda of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We need to wait for that. This is a process which should be developed from now. We should try to not buy Chinese products as long as we can, but when there is no other option, we have to choose one Chinese product. But as long as we can, we should not buy Chinese products. There is a video which I remember as of now that was of Abhi and New. If all of you follow Abhi and New on YouTube, you will know how elaborately and systematically they explain the process of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, the solution is not in going out and trying to make for India possible all at once. It is a process, and therefore Make in India should be the priority as of now, but Make for India is a process which should be initiated now only. Like, we should not
The
buy
time
Chinese
starts,
products
Swagatam.
as of now. Yes, just concluding, we should not rush. This is a process. We should avoid Chinese products as long as we can. Don't be hyper nationalized, just be rationally nationalized, and I believe we can achieve Atmanirbhar Bharat as soon as possible.
I would request the jury member to please note that the participant took 2 minutes and 20 seconds to put up his point.
Okay.
Yeah. Sir, I would request you to please ask the question to Mr. Swagatam, and meanwhile, Ms. Aditi, you can get yourself ready with the topic that has been given in the chat box.
Awesome. Hey, Swagatam. Hope you're keeping well. Mr. Roy, what a lucid elucidation, right? Swagatam, what
Yes,
type
sir.
of question would you like? An easy question or a difficult question?
To be honest, sir, don't ask me about the technicalities of Make in India and Make
Fine,
for India,
fine.
but you can ask me about the social issues relating to Make in India and Make for
Let's
India.
go for a very interesting question.
Okay.
Recently, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh said that he wants to make Uttar Pradesh as the center where Bollywood movies can be shot, right? So that you don't need to go to overseas locations. As a citizen of this state, what type of a thing you would like UP to be known for? That this thing happens in my state. This is my question.
Okay, sir. So, how much time do I get to answer this?
You get
As
1
brief
minute.
as possible.
Okay.
Express yourself.
Okay. See, I'll be very bold while answering this. Since this government has come, I have seen it working on topics which are not as important at this point of time, and they're not concentrating on the important topics which should be concentrated on. For example, today the important topic for India is to make it self-reliant. Well, Atmanirbhar Bharat came up. I appreciate the government for that. Today, the important topic for India is to improve the economy, is to eradicate hunger from the country. We are not yet developed in a sense that we are trying to make Bollywood locations within our country. There are other places for that. That is not the fundamental need of the people. The fundamental needs of the people should be fulfilled at the first go, and then the government can concentrate on other things as well. So I'll give a suggestion to Mr. Yogi, if he listens to me, that we can make Bollywood locations after we become, at least a country which can feed its people, which can make, keep its people happy. And then we can make a Bollywood location within our country. But first, let's fulfill the fundamental needs of the people. Thank you.
All right, well noted. So Devansh, where are we regarding the time thing? Can we have the second speaker now?
Yeah, so we are now moving to the second speaker, and she is Miss Aditi. She would be speaking on the topic, the world is one family. Miss Aditi, your time starts now.
Okay, the world is one family, Vasudev Kutumbakam. It comes from the Sanskrit phrase. I think this is an idiom which has been adopted and actually familiarized with all people of Indian culture, because we view the world as a family. And although the world is divided into boundaries by our ancestors through lands and geographies and cultures, beliefs, traditions, at our heart we are all the same people. We all feel the same pain when somebody suffers. We all feel the same happiness when somebody close to us experiences a joyful and happy occasion, because it proves to us that we as sentient beings are all the same inside. And although some of us have different aspirations, ambitions, and viewpoints which may starkly differ from our counterparts and our peers, it does not negate the fact that on the whole, we wish to propagate, we wish to progress and proceed in such a manner that ensures that everybody is together and nobody is left out. We wish to see the progress of humanity. We wish to test the boundaries of our universe to see how far we can go and how much we can achieve to ensure a sustainable living for all. And especially during this pandemic, I think the world, which has been divided by so much bigotry and hatred and prejudice, I think it's very important to know that instead of blame game and propaganda and mendacious lies which have been spread, it's important to come together and let everybody know that we are all on the same boat. What others feel is somehow reflected in our core, because at our lifeline, our thread of humanity, it appeals to our conscience within. With that, I would like to conclude by saying that Mahatma Gandhi once said that a man who thinks of the world with love and no fear will be feared by no man, as he considers them his family. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Aditi. I would like to tell the judge that Ms. Aditi took a time period of 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
All right. So, Aditi, what are you studying at the moment in the university?
I'm doing computer science engineering. I'm in third year.
Oh, fantastic. So tell me, Aditi, as a student who goes to the college, right, and he or she sees multiple students from various other faculties, as a student, what can you advise, or what can he or she do in order to live this proverb in maybe on the campus of Lucknow University in the times that we are in, 2020, 2021? How can a student practice Vasudev Kutumbakam according to you?
I think at the very grassroots level, there is a need for awareness and acceptance. we need to accept the fact that nobody proceeds or progresses in a true sense unless everybody is benefiting or progressing in the same manner. We cannot be selfish in that aspect. And I think in my university, we do regular drives and plays, and we hold various competitions and interactive sessions to let people know, and that they are not alone in this, that they can reach out, and it's all right to ask for help, to ask for advice, and to ask for other people's support and help during these trying times. As students, I think we are spearheading this cause at our own level, and everybody has their own perspective, their own struggles. I think all we can do is acceptance and providing them with their necessities.
Fantastic.
All right.
Fantastic. Very nice.
All right. So I guess we should move to the next participant now, and the next participant is Mr. Aditya. So Aditya, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so we'll start now.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Today, my topic is one mystery which I would like to solve. So, unsolved mysteries in this world are extremely intriguing to me. And from a very childhood, I remember vividly the novels which I have read. One thing that struck to me, which I have always wanted to solve, is Area 51 in USA. In the middle of a desert in USA, there is an unmarked road, a dusty road, called the Area 51, which is rumored to be housing aliens and a political agenda for Donald Trump. It is protected by a chain fence, a boom gate, and the media intimidates the world by it. People make so many rumors about it. There are so many myths which are based on this mystery, and I would really like to solve this. It is said that there are alien invasions that occur due to that. It is said that there are CCTV cameras which are placed over there to ensure that no one comes in. So what is so secretive that for so many, more than 100 years, it has been kept a mystery from the public? So numerous presidents have refrained from even talking about it in the press. It has always been put down. I have always thought that it is an alien's residence, but when I have come to this age of maturity, it may not be that. It may be something more vicious, more wrong, something like a drug business. So I would like to conclude by saying that if I ever get a chance to find out what happens in Area 51, I would love it. Thank you.
All right. All right. So please note that the time taken by the participant was 1 minute 54 seconds.
All right. Sure. So Aditya, my question to you is that mystery for long has, intrigued human beings, right from the time it was in literature to the, I was a student of literature back in the day. So we used to read about these Illuminati, Renaissance time scientists writing stuff. And, at that time it was pretty mysterious. So something that can be perceived without, the knowledge, we always find it very intriguing, time travel, etc. So you the mysteries that is to give you a head start or a hint, you can go with the moon landing, you can take up the abominable snowman. What according to you are the mysteries that that we face in our real lives, or perhaps our dwindling percentage in examination? That's also a mystery to few. Can you name a couple of other mysteries which are close to your heart, that you always wanted to see, which is has kept you always involved?
So the world is filled with mysteries. So if I start with a list, then it would be endless. So the greatest mystery would be life after death. I've always
Very
imagined
interesting.
what happens after death. There are so many novels, so many documentaries, but no one is really able to scientifically prove it. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll be now moving to the next participant, and the next participant is Babu Shaurya. Your topic is what is an ideal routine? So are you ready? Babu Shaurya,
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
ready? All right, you may please start.
I am. Firstly, good evening, a very warm good one, and secondly, thank you for giving such a platform. So,
I guess there are some issues with the network over there.
You can request
Uh,
Mr. Shaw to perhaps connect from audio only. That will reduce the
Bandwidth.
disturbance.
Yeah. Shaurya, are you able to hear us? So I guess there is some problem with the network connectivity of Shaurya. And so in the meantime, shall we proceed with the next participant, and we'll give Babu Shaurya another opportunity with another topic if possible?
Sure, why not? So the next participant, is he or she aware of the topic?
No, I'll be just providing it how with the topic. And Ms. Jyeta
Right.
Sharma, the topic is, was demonetization a good step by the government of India? I guess that's it.
Meanwhile, Devansh, we need to kill a minute.
Yeah, sir.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what to
So,
do.
So I would only like to say that I'm much thankful to you. I would like to tell all the participants that sir was very having a very busy schedule today, and even after going to one place and coming back from their place, and within 5 minutes he has got himself prepared and coming for us in this session. So I am again thankful to you, sir, for doing this for us. And I guess we have occupied 45 minutes now. Ms. Jyeta Sharma, you have 15 seconds left. So you can pin up with your topics, and we'll be starting with the session. So are you ready?
Yes.
All right, so you can start, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Demonetization. नवंबर में ये हुआ था 2016-17, एग्जैक्ट डेट नहीं याद है, लेकिन 2016-17 में हुआ था. ओके, 16 में दीदी बोली. हाँ, तो 2016 में हुआ था ये डिमोनेटाइजेशन. नए मतलब 10th और 12th क्लास के बच्चों के लिए ये सिर्फ एक ऐसे नया टॉपिक था जो बोर्ड्स में आना ही आना था. और नए गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से एक ये इनिशिएटिव था कि ब्लैक मनी बाहर निकालना था. स्टार्टिंग में ऐसा लगा 500,000 बंद करके कि ये एकदम ब्लैक मनी सब कुछ खत्म हो जाएगा, करप्शन बंद हो जाएगा. लेकिन आज की तारीख पे अगर हम देखें तो क्या करप्शन खत्म हो गया, एक ये सवाल उठता है. क्या ब्लैक मनी अब कोई नहीं लेता है, ये सवाल उठता है. 1000 और 500 के नोट बंद करके आप इंसान की नीयत नहीं बदल सकते. जिसको चोरी करनी होगी वो छोटे से छोटा या बड़े से बड़ा वो कर ही लेता है. और हम बात करें गवर्नमेंट का, गवर्नमेंट ने अपनी तरफ से एक थोड़ा सा एक मुहिम शुरू करी कि एक ये कर सकते थे हम, एक इनिशिएटिव लिया उन लोगों ने कि 1000 और 500 के नोट बंद करके उन्होंने नए नोट्स का आगमन किया. उसके बाद फिर बड़े लोगों का पता नहीं कि उनके पास नोट उनसे बाहर निकले या नहीं निकले, लेकिन मिडिल क्लास और लोअर क्लास को बहुत ज्यादा परेशानी झेलनी पड़ी. चाहे वो एटीएम के बाहर लंबी लाइन हो या चाहे वो खाना पीना छोड़ करके बैंक में लगी भीड़ हो, हर किसी इंसान को कोई ना कोई मुश्किल झेलनी पड़ी. तो हर चीज का एक अच्छा एक हर का प्रॉस होता है, एक का कॉन्स होता है. तो इसमें भी दोनों ही चीजें इक्वल थी. लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि अभी तक पूरे तरीके से उसको हम एक प्रॉस में काउंट नहीं कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि एक चेंज आया था थोड़े वक्त के लिए, उसके बाद क्योंकि हम उसी राह पे निकल पड़े हैं. और demonetization is just another sentence for us, just another word for us या just another topic for us कि हम जिसके ऊपर एक डिबेट कर सकते हैं कि इसमें कुछ अच्छा हुआ या नहीं हुआ. लेकिन जब तक पूरे तरीके से करप्शन
Okay.
So Geeta, you can take a couple of perhaps 10 seconds to conclude. Go ahead.
नहीं होता हमारे सोसाइटी से करप्शन, तब तक चाहे वो डीमोनेटाइजेशन हो या नेपोटिज्म हो, इन सब का हम इन सब के ऊपर सिर्फ डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. कोई एक रिजल्ट पास नहीं कर सकते कि क्या ये एकदम एक चेंज लाया हमारे सोसाइटी में या नहीं लाया. थैंक यू.
Got it.
Thank you so much, Geeta ji.
Right. Thank you, Geeta. Geeta, my question to you is, what was the idea behind demonetization? I consider the government wants the best for its citizens. That is the idea of democracy and the government. तो उन लोगों ने क्या सोच के लाए, and what was the best thought कि चलो ठीक है, तकलीफ हुई, कुछ लोग मरे, but क्या अच्छा निकला demonetization से? What was the like कुछ अच्छा हो जाए? अभी तो हमने cons के बारे में बात किया, खराब चीजों के बारे में बात किया. demonetization से कुछ अच्छा निकला क्या? कुछ भी पॉजिटिव? तो अगर कुछ आपके हिसाब से पॉजिटिव हुआ तो शेयर करिए ना.
सर पॉजिटिव स्टार्टिंग में ऐसा लगा था कि कोई करप्शन नहीं रहेगा, अब कोई ब्लैक मनी से सराउंडेड नहीं रहेगा. स्टार्टिंग में ऐसा लगा कि बस अब एक नई दुनिया की शुरुआत हो जाएगी इंडिया में, कि सब कुछ बदला बदला रहेगा, कोई ब्लैक मनी नहीं, हर जगह सिर्फ और सिर्फ एकदम सच्चाई, पंचुअलिटी ही रहेगी. लेकिन आज हम 2020 में कहाँ खड़े हैं? आज भी लोग करप्शन में पकड़े जा रहे हैं, आज भी लोग ब्लैक मनी ले रहे हैं, या आज भी लोग घूस और पैसे लेकर के, अभी हाल ही में कोई तो पुलिस ऑफिसर, कोई तो कमिश्नर ने, उन्होंने पैसे लेकर के शिक्षकों की भर्ती करवाई. तो हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि कोई एक बहुत बड़ा चेंज आ गया. स्टार्टिंग में लगा था कि पॉजिटिव ही पॉजिटिव होगा, लेकिन आज की तारीख पे जब तक एक इंसान के करने से सर कुछ नहीं. अगर मोदी जी ने ये सोच लिया कि हम ये करके कुछ बदलाव लाएंगे, तो एक इंसान के करने से या एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के करने से कुछ नहीं होता. जब तक हर एक इंसान के अंदर अच्छाई नहीं आ जाती, तब तक दुनिया में अच्छा या कोई एक बदलाव नहीं ला सकते हम.
All right. Thank you so much, Geeta ji. Now I would request the next participant, Mr. Satyam ji, to please put up his points over here. So I would like to tell you the topic for Mr. Satyam is bigger defense budget or bigger educational budget. What is needed more in India?
Okay. Good evening to all. Good evening, Vibhu sir. So my topic is bigger education budget or bigger defense budget. What I want to say is, why not both? Why not we both, like we allocate our funds equally for both? See, education budget, education system is a long-term process. We are educating our youth, we are educating our underprivileged children, and this is going to reap long-term benefits. Whereas in this particular scenario, where we are having 5 months of long standoff with our neighboring country, China, and we have a continuous proxy war for the past 30 years with Pakistan. So defense budget is a need of the hour in the short term, and we need to keep up our abilities, our capacities fully up. So right now India has a defense budget of 3.5 lakh crores, which is roughly 1.5% of India's GDP, and it needs to be increased up to 3% of Indian GDP. Whereas the education system is like consuming 2% of India's GDP. Both are to be supposed nearly 3% of India's GDP. Okay, so defense budget main resources goes into the pensions and salaries of the defense personnel, and very less amount is left for the capital expenditure or the procurement of arms and ammunition from abroad. Whereas in Indian education system, if we look at the budget, most of the are going in like subsidizing the universities and the education system. Recently there was a protest in JNU where people were protesting for mere 1,500 rupees of annual sum of fees. They are protesting in 1,500 rupees of annual sum. Government needs to little bit of increasement needs in the subsidy system needs to be reduced first of all, so that the leakage of the expenditure gets reduced. And my suggestion to the government, if this topic is put up in the parliament or anywhere, that defense budget should be increased in the short term. Because we are okay.
Yeah, all right. So I would request the judge to please note that the participant took a time period of 2 minutes and 1 second.
Okay. So Satyam, was there something that you wanted to conclude, or may I proceed with the question?
Yes, sir. Please,
yeah, please go ahead. It's all about expressing.
Okay, sir. The government needs to increase its budget to at least 5 lakh crores of GDP to the Indian Defence Forces, especially to the Indian Air Force, because we are having a completely depleted air fleet. And secondly, the as we have got the national education policy, if it is implemented to the ground, then we can have the desired results within the stipulated budget or a little bit of improvement in the or increased budget.
Oh, okay. So,
All
Satya, my
right.
question to you is that they have given you primarily a very difficult topic. That being said, the other day I was reading a book written by Amartya Sen, and he was writing where we went wrong compared to China or some other countries who are doing relatively well. He highlighted that privatization in education and healthcare in India is one of the root cause of deterioration, whereas the healthcare and education comes under the government. Healthcare comes under the government in UK as well. Anyway, we are not discussing about healthcare. My question is in two folds. One is that do you agree that privatization in education is a good thing? And I want you to consider education as a very holistic concept, not only higher education, but school education as well. And the second thing is this, that we are looking defense may FDI. Reliance is putting in tenders for the earlier, government agencies like DRD or HAL used to manufacture stuff for the government of India. Now we are getting third-party people to it. So how do you see this thing? Quick two replies, perhaps.
Yes, sir.
15 seconds each.
So, if I go for the defense sector, then here is the whole reverse concept. We need privatization at the most because ordnance factory boards are highly incompetent. They are not able to supply even the tank ammunition to the Ladakh sector currently. Whereas in the education sector, privatization should be reduced. You know how much private schools charge up the fees to the students. Every year they increase the fees, and you know how much the private institutions or colleges are charging up the fees. So government, we are a mixed economy. We are we are neither a fully capitalist economy. We are neither a fully communist or socialist economy. We are a mixed economy. So India needs a blend of privatization and sort of public undertakings by the government. Where in defense sector, I firmly stand for privatization, whereas in education, I firmly stand for government control or government ownership, because health and education is the basic needs of the people. This is what I want to conclude. Thank you,
Very
sir.
nice.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Satyam. The next participant is Ms. Syed Aqsa, and your topic is, ma'am, how will the year 2020 shape 2021? So you may please start.
Okay, so am I visible and audible?
Yeah.
Sir, I'm just keeping a timer here, okay? My topic is that I have to take, how 2020 will shape 2021. So basically everything is pros and cons. Looking to 2020, what I feel like is India has gone many years back of developing. Already it is a developing country and it has been even more far from the stage of development. Whether you talk about economy or youth or jobs or diplomatic relationships like of China and Pakistan, they are getting even more worse day by day. So in 2021, there will be major consequences of all these things. If I talk about good thing is that India on a very ground level has learned some good things. Good things if I talk about spirituality. Like when we say a nation needs to grow, what I think on my personal opinion is a nation will grow only and only when if its youth will grow itself. And this lockdown has given every person his or her time to work on it. So like I am a 12th grade student and I am in public speaking, which is actually a proud of my part. Second thing which I want to say, major good habits is giving family time, which was lost from a lot of years. Also, now 2020 has a lot of wrong things which are happening, like rapes. If I talk about, even in such lockdown period, we are having rapes. That's very shameful for India. Economy, which is dropping every day, and a lot more things which will definitely hinder our 2021. But what I expect is if we can work on ourselves, just like we are sitting here and discussing, we can totally come out with a good result. Lastly, one big and one good habit which India has learned in this lockdown is washing his or her hands before and after everything. So yeah, it will overall it will plan a bad part of 2020 will reflect in 2021. But hopefully, I am expecting good. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Syed Aqsa. I would like to tell the judge that the participant took a time period of 1 minute and 52 seconds to put up her point.
Very nice. Sayyada, right?
Sir, it's
Miss Sayyed
Sayyed
Aksa.
Aksa.
Sayyed Aksa. Sayyed, are you a student of class 12? Are you still to give your boards or something?
Yes, sir. I have to give my boards.
Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you. You spoke really well. God bless
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Sayyida, my question to you is that, this is the first time I experienced quarantine. I was never exposed to lockdown, and so is so many of Indians as well as worldwide. What one thing from an anecdotal point of view you will take forward from this lockdown experience and use it in 2021 that will make you a better functioning individual?
Okay, so to answer this question, I would like to share all of the incidents which happened in me. I took first debate, second debate, third debate. I was in public speaking from before, only from my school days. But now I took it to another level. What I have learned from lockdown is when I take part in anything like public speaking majorly, what I did was to win it. But right now I am doing it to bring a change. Like in previous one of my speech competitions, I gave speech about self-acceptance, and after that 2-3 girls messaged me that I really loved your speech and I have accepted myself just the way I am. So even with my one word, if I can change 1% of the thinking, I will do that. And this thinking that I am going to do every step, I'm going to take every step, not to just win, but to learn and to bring a change, that will help me a lot. So this is what I will take in
Fantastic.
2021 with me.
Fantastic. Very nice.
So thank you so much, Ms.
Thank you.
Sayyada, and I would like to tell all of you that we'll be ending this session and we'll be immediately starting with another session where Mr. Shivansh will be putting up his views on the topic that he was given, and the topic is the biggest advantage of being a human. So we'll turn off this session and immediately start with the same link again. Thank you so much, everyone.